You ready?
Yes.
Okay, Calvin, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, alright, I'll open the meeting. And we'll go first to the accounts payable manifest. Just make sure.
Since it's first on the list.
Yeah,
While you're doing that, I'm gonna find the other stuff for the meeting.
So the first one is just
Looks like
electric
the-
hydraulics
yeah.
fuel packer.
okay. Alright, so the first one is, as Cal said, it's a check in the amount of $12,878 made out to,
For the Packer hydraulics,
correct, it's the pump
The
itself. Yeah,
cause the electricity is the other.
right. So looking for a motion.
So moved.
And second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Alright,
We could make you a little sign that you could just hold up and you could just say on.
I say aye.
I know. I just like to
If it
rag
ain't broke,
on
don't
you.
fix it.
I'm just ragging on you.
thank you.
Yes, sir.
It's okay, yeah, I'll just hand those over. Alright, next is the accounts payable manifest in the amount of $25,350.
What was that again, please, 23?
25,350.
25, 350, so moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
That's payroll, right? Yeah.
that is correct, yeah. Actually, what was that, the payroll manifest?
That was
Payroll, sorry,
No,
payroll.
that was accounts,
another.
you've got 3 of them this time.
Oh, okay,
That was
wow.
the one for May,
Okay.
finishing up the month of May, and
And
the
this
biggest
is,
thing in it was the final payment for the Sand Lake House garage. This one is
Oh, so
the
this
first
is the
one for
count.
June,
yeah,
this final one, and it
Yeah.
includes 215,000 for the annual paving
yeah,
and 11,000 for the variable speed drive for the
Okay.
packer.
okay,
Oh, so the first one didn't have the, it had the
Just
the
hydraulics.
hydraulics.
yes, the pump for the hydraulics, right,
Oh, jeez, I didn't realize that that had so many
So I'm
moving
taking
parts.
3 photos for Al.
there you go. Alright, third payroll manifest, or excuse me, not payroll,
Accounts.
accounts payable manifest in the amount of $250,108.83.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye. That was a,
Yeah, that's a big one, but as Cal explained,
yes.
couple of biggies.
This is the month for it.
Yeah,
Sorry.
thank you. Alright, and a payroll manifest in the amount of $56,233.57.
So moved.
Second, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye?
Thank you.
Alright.
Thanks.
Cal, we can do these timber tax ones together? Or
Yes,
separate? Okay.
it's all one thing and it needs a vote,
Okay,
so you can read the 3,000 is the total number.
yep, okay. Alright, next item is a timber tax yield tax levy in the amount of $3,067.33. And it looks like it's for 3 properties, Cal?
I think 2, cause one
Oh
of
yeah,
them
no
is
cut.
no cut.
That's interesting. So it's map 236 lot 17 and map 248-008-1. Looking for a second.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye. Why would you have one with no?
I don't know, I was gonna look through and
They
see.
probably ran out of time to cut it before the switch.
Oh, okay.
And it looks like Cal
That's
three
pretty
places
active,
to
shut
sign.
down for a little bit.
Yes.
Why?
They shut it down in June and July for the bats,
Really?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I don't
that's
think,
a-
I wasn't aware of that.
And then if they ran on time in the spring, cause of road conditions, they probably didn't cut.
Okay. Well, my bats say thank you. Marcel, and Marcella are quite glad. That seems awfully nice and respectful.
Yeah, they'll just take their houses obviously.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but they tried. A little bit anyway. I missed a page, there we go. There's only two of them I have to date too.
Oh, I gotta take it. Was this the one I was supposed to not sign?
You can sign all of them.
Okay.
Yep.
Now you have to follow the tag.
Yeah,
Oh, my tab, of course, my tab broke on me. Perfect.
Thank you.
thanks. Alright. That gets us through, I think, kind of the financial stuff. So, next item is the Town of Canterbury fund balance policy. Cal, we've looked at this before, right?
Yes, so at the last meeting, you reviewed the draft, and the
Yeah.
only outstanding questions were if the DRA had a better or had a good definition,
Yeah.
they do not.
Okay,
So this is essentially the same thing that you looked at
Yeah.
last time.
Yeah.
Just a clean copy for signing.
okay. Do we need a motion or are we just signing?
If you could do a motion,
Of course.
just in case.
Yep, so I'll make a motion that we adopt the Town of Canterbury fund balance policy, revision date 5/27/2026.
Can I ask a question before we vote on that? Didn't we have two things we were going to check? One of them was the definition, but there was a second question that we had highlighted on that. But I think the,
One thing was a to-do item for me, one thing was the DRA definition, and one thing you guys decided not to put in.
not to put in, okay, but there were two things and one we decided not to. Okay, then I move, then I second it.
Okay, and all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye? That's that. Good deal. That,
We've got that final one, did you send that to us, Cal, or is it just posted and we'll look it up if we want it?
I can email it out to you guys, I'm not sure if I remember to attach it, so.
yeah, I don't remember seeing it.
I don't remember seeing the second copy of it, but
Yeah,
if you could, that'd be great, thank you.
Yep.
alright, next item, Town of Canterbury town officials resignation policy.
So this one is similar, you did have a few things that you decided on, for changes. But there weren't any outstanding questions,
Yeah.
so, it was just updating it to, cause there were a couple places where it said this or that, and so I just,
Yeah,
And we haven't seen this since the the last meeting either.
No, I
Okay.
didn't send you the updated one.
Alright, 1 second.
Yeah, we'll give
Yes.
everybody a chance to familiarize themselves.
And I've got the printed out draft minutes here, and that has the discussion that shows all the different things that you agreed on.
Right.
If you want
Yeah.
that as reference.
No, I read I remember reading that, I just wanted to,
Okay.
I just always like to overlook at it, yeah.
Hmm.
Let me see. Okay. Yes. Okay, do you want me to first? Thank you. I'm just in awe of the quick typing coming from that side of the table. My niece used to have an app on her phone that when she was texting, for each key she hit, it made it sound like she had hit 5, so it sounded like she was
Incredibly fast.
incredibly fast.
Yeah.
I think so, since it's down at that end of the table, we might as well sign
Am I
it
signing
there.
now?
Yeah, do we need a motion on that too?
If you could.
Yeah,
Yeah, alright, so I'll make a motion that we adopt the town's resignation policy.
so moved, or seconded,
Right.
seconded it.
All those in favor? Aye.
Aye. It's backwards from
Yeah.
the other signing.
And it's amazing how quickly we all get used to. Alright, and I'll put today's date, I guess.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Alright,
Thank you. And
What about
can I
flood
have those
insurance?
draft minutes back before?
of course you can,
Thank you.
yeah. Like that would ever happen, huh?
We would never lose a document in the middle of a
Right.
meeting.
Alright, the final item, under the administrative section is a resolution to update the dates of flood insurance maps in our zoning ordinance.
So this is essentially the same thing that you've already done twice. FEMA
That's what I-
has yet again told us that the dates are wrong and we need to make a new one.
Okay,
So that's what we're doing.
okay,
And that's not just us, they're telling that to many people, it's not just like Canterbury messed up.
Oh yeah, no, it's not,
It's everybody.
it's that everybody in the state needs to put these new dates,
okay,
Alright,
so.
that's what FEMA says.
alright. So I will move that we adopt, the flood insurance study for the county of Merrimack, New Hampshire.
I will second that.
All those in favor?
Aye,
Aye,
thank you FEMA,
again.
again. You just say thank you once and that'll do it for the next two
Right.
times.
Till next time.
You're right,
Yeah, FEMA and the DRA keep getting you.
yeah. I was surprised at how,
Do you want the date?
oh, thank you for noticing that. I was surprised at how small, I always pictured DRA as a much larger group, but
Yeah. They
they're small,
are.
yeah,
You mean by that, you mean people who are working there?
yeah.
Oh,
There's only like 4 now,
There's three
Three
people for the whole state,
yeah,
at least in that section for the
Wow.
municipal tax rate.
well,
and you know, the funny thing is, in all my years in state government, I never met a DRA official, ever.
really?
I mean, I literally have met everybody in state government.
I guess with only 3 of them, they're always really busy.
Yes.
Wow,
Yeah.
okay,
Alright, turning our attention to previous minutes, looking at the May 18th, 2026 public minutes.
yes,
Cal, was there anything from, there was, okay,
So there's a few grammatical changes, but then there's 3 changes worth going through.
okay,
On line 48, it says, with the new engine, the fire department will be redefining the run card.
yeah,
Now that I understand what that means.
Yeah.
I'm suggesting rewriting it to say, when it arrives, the fire department will be updating the run card so that the new engine is the primary response engine.
Perfect.
Sounds good, yeah, I think that probably is a more accurate.
On line 105, it says LHS came in and did a demonstration for an electronic paperless voter checklist. This was Sam talking
Yep.
about what's been going on. Changing it to LHS Associates. We don't know what LHS stands for, but
Gotcha.
it just clarifies who that is.
Yeah.
Came into the town office and did a demonstration, just to clarify.
So it didn't sound like they didn't come to the meeting.
Yes, they did not come to the meeting, and it's LHS Associates.
Good.
Then I think there's one more. Two more. On line 312, I wrote leaks in the roof keep coming up as a stumbling block, but Beth McGuinn says that the solar company would assess the roof to see if leaks could be dealt with. This is for solar panels on the municipal complex. Changing it to say Beth McGuinn says that many solar companies are able to assess roofs and advise how to deal with leaks before and during installation. And then line 328, it says CPCNH has said that they will buy the RECs and retire them so that coal plants can't use them. This is the renewable energy RECs that people can sell if they have solar. Changing it to say retire them so that they can't be bought by power plants that don't support renewable energy, cause it's not just coal,
Gotcha.
it's in general.
Other, yeah,
That's it.
okay, anybody else have anything?
No,
Okay, then I'll move the minutes as amended,
I will second that.
all those in favor?
Aye. Good minutes as always.
Yeah.
You've turned me into a total minute snob, Kathy.
Alright, new business, I know Cal sent out the article that actually was sent to me, regarding health trust and,
Yeah,
health insurance, and it really is to me anyway, a disturbing article, and I know some municipalities are, considering writing letters to our state legislators, because some of the proposed changes in oversight, would really make for less transparency. And I think that that's never a good thing, in my view.
what I couldn't tell is who wrote the article?
So that was written by a guy named John McAllister, who is the state secretary for the state firefighters, union.
Okay,
So, his name is John McAllister, he's a lieutenant with Nashua Fire.
okay.
Nashua, like many, communities, had health trust, so. And I think you both remember our history with health trust, so.
Yes. But who's leading the charge to write letters about this? Is it just the the firemen, or is it?
So I would say yes, I don't know of any other group at this point. That was an article from, I think it was the Nashua Telegraph, was the paper.
I think you're right.
And am I aware of any other movements at this point? No. I'm pretty sure it was the Nashua Telegraph.
The one that you linked to was published in the Union Leader.
Union
Okay,
leader, that's right.
Union Leader, thank you. But I don't know of any other movement, I guess I'd call it, statewide or locally, on either letter writing or anything along those lines.
Cause it seems, we've gotten so many requests to either weigh in, yay or nay on issues where there's a group that has a campaign to write or to try and get something, a particular something to change, and I guess I wasn't sure by the time I finished reading this what we could do or what we should do.
So to my, what I took away from the article was a couple of things, the the amount, that Health Trust is charging or was charging, compared to, let's say, Anthem, is much, much higher.
Yeah.
And what are they doing with all that extra money? But number two is the push apparently on their part to get themselves under the state insurance, where there's less oversight and less transparency. I can't think of a good reason for that. Certainly as a consumer, I can't think of a good reason.
Right.
So we don't have to make a decision tonight, you know, and maybe that's something that we ultimately decide not to do. It was just an idea, as I read that article, it certainly, to me anyway, was a disturbing look at health trust.
Yeah, well, I guess I could see more if there's, you know, in a however much time from now, some group comes up and says, this is what we wanna do. We would like everybody to sign on to this, send a letter to XYZ, or, you know, put your name to this, and this is the outcome that we hope to get. And if it was something like that, I'd say probably yes.
Yeah.
Um,
I think that, you know, if we went ahead and sent letters, it would be to our state reps and our state senators. And I think at this point, really, from what I would suggest is we don't want the oversight of health trust to change to the state health department. You know, I don't know if there's much of anything the state can do about the rate increases. But, you know, obviously for all of us, that's you know, as we sit here and, you know, it'll be a couple of months, and we'll be looking at next year's budget again. So as we look at budgets, that's a significant, you know, chunk of our budget.
it is.
So Health Trust and NHMA keep sending us emails about those bills, asking us to write letters in the opposite direction. So if you want, I can find those emails and forward them, that way you
That'd be
can
great,
look at the side by side.
yeah, that would be great.
Yeah, because I think I probably have them all, you know, they come through individually. If you could collect them all into one place, that would be really helpful.
Yeah,
Thank you.
yeah, I mean, it's always good to get both sides, but I think, as I said, as I read that article, it just, I think it's a long.
I'd be curious to see, that was one of my questions, is how does NHMA weigh in on this? Because I'm sure, you know, many municipalities, you know, how many municipalities are dealing with it. And why would the state oversight be so much less?
Moving to insurance, I don't really know the answer for that. Why? Maybe they have fewer regulators,
I mean, if there's only 3 of them like that, DRA.
it's entirely possible.
Okay, well, thanks for for finding that article, though, and passing it along.
Yeah, as I said, I think for all of us, as we will shortly begin work on next year's budget, it's certainly worth taking, I know,
It's coming up.
it is, like a freight train,
It's too early.
yeah. Well,
Take a month, and
yeah, it is only June, so barely,
Friday, you guys have a work session about wages?
Yes.
So
yeah, that's a good
insurance
point,
will probably
right.
come up.
Yeah.
Yes, it will. Yep.
Oh, and thank you for that reminder too.
Yeah.
That's ruining my Friday now.
It's 8:30.
Because of, like, so that Calvin can go put in a full day's work and.
Not anymore.
Yes, 8:30 AM.
And I did get all the data about the town administrators,
Oh, thank
part-time
you.
versus full-time.
Perfect,
I know, just need to send that out, so
Okay,
I'll do
thank
that.
you.
yeah, June 5th, 8:30,
Yes.
yeah. Alright,
I'm sure I'll be live by then. After opening day of the market on Wednesday.
yeah, you'll do fine.
For anybody who's watching, farmers market opens on Wednesday,
At what time?
4 to 6:30,
There you go.
right here in Canterbury Center. Please check out the new sign in the center at the edge of the
I
green,
did,
make sure it
actually.
passes the
It looked
select
good.
board's approval.
I had to slow down to read it, so.
Did you see the smiling carrot?
I did see the carrot.
Okay, that's good. Did
Yeah.
you see the smile on the carrot?
Nope.
Oh, jeez, okay,
Carrot
fine.
can't
Let's
smile.
slow down more.
This carrot can smile. Okay.
Swallowed it.
Right.
Alright, 8:30.
Alright, moving on, unless anyone else has new business.
No.
Okay,
I do
old
not.
business, municipal complex landscaping,
Yes.
and there was it an email from Donna?
There was a long email from Donna
Yeah.
that she sent to my personal email and then went oops and then sent it to my town email and I think I forwarded it along to everybody. And I also just had a very good talk with Donna at the curb while I was planting the watering trough. And these trees that she has, the wetland package that she got basically for free from the state.
Mm-hmm.
She seems to think would be a very good addition to the meadow. But, I mean, what I said to her is I'm having a kind of a hard time understanding when you say, oh, the big clump of viburnum or the whatever. I said, you know, we had an overview of the property. Said, could you provide us with a map that circles and says, this is the viburnum,
Yeah.
this is the wet area, this is the whatever. And she said she'd be happy to do that.
Okay.
And we actually even talked if it would be helpful for us all to meet with the garden people and perhaps, you know, chief
You
and
walk
chief
around?
and do a walk around and say, you know, this is the plan more than
Yeah.
just all of a sudden having it show up.
Yeah,
And Donna said that she would be happy to write a couple of more articles for the newsletter explaining, especially like in the fall, when their plan is to mow half the field and not the other half, and people will be like, what? So she's going to put that in there as to why.
yeah,
There are a couple of trees, there's, when you go in and there's the one kind of tree of Gondor, the dead tree as you come in on the left. Apparently there's been a porcupine up there who's very happy eating the tree, so they're gonna kind of let that go for a while, but some
yeah,
of the, or maybe not, don't talk to me about porcupines, but some of the trees that she got are very little, but she has silver maple, which I guess is a native that really likes wet feet,
okay,
and a couple of dogwoods that also like wet feet, and it's very wet over on that side.
yeah,
And so she's going to keep them until they get a
Very
little
wet.
bit bigger, so that they don't just get mowed.
Yeah.
Seems like if they're trying to make this a good habitat, those are good additions, but
Yeah.
she was very willing, because I don't know about you both, but I've been getting calls on both sides of the aisle about, oh, it's a great idea, or no, that's terrible. Let's mow it, let's keep it,
Yeah.
it's great, it stinks.
I've received 0 calls.
yeah,
I don't know why I'm hearing them all,
yeah, I haven't gotten any either one way or the other, and, you know, certainly at the firehouse meetings, no one has said anything.
Oh, good. I think it looks lovely, but they wanna make sure that everybody's on the same page, they're having a work party up there on Friday, they're going
Yeah.
to start Friday evening, they're gonna deal with the wood chips.
Yeah,
They're gonna start taking care of the beds right in front of the
Yeah.
building.
and I guess the only thing I'll say is if they're trying to get everybody to agree, it's never gonna happen.
No, I think they just want everybody to understand,
Yeah,
the why of it, and I
even
think,
that may be,
yes,
yeah. But you know, certainly my thought when I read the email from Donna is that, you know, these are people we know and trust.
yeah,
You know, if the shrubs and trees that they wanna put are suitable for that location, then,
and free,
yeah, that's-
which is always nice. Yeah, I think between Donna and Vanessa, for sure, they've got the expertise, and
yeah,
you go to Petals in the Pines, you look at it, you can see the work Vanessa's doing at her property.
yeah,
I think it will end up to be lovely, even if it's not the kind of lovely
It'll
that
be-
some people might agree with.
right, and, you know, there is a whole school of thought that, you know, the expanse of mowed grass is not environmentally friendly,
Right.
and, you know, we should do more to return plots to nature when we can. So
Well,
this may
yeah.
be a chance to do.
As a man who loves his bees,
Exactly,
but they're doing, I mean, Donna went up there and mowed herself.
Yeah.
The path
Yeah.
and stuff, and was very appreciative that, I guess she said it was John's idea to move the plow so that they wouldn't have to mow over there as much. And she brought up an interesting point, which I hadn't thought of, and I think, I can't remember who brought it up, that the plow has actually got the address of the municipal center on it. And now it's by the road where you can see the address
there
of the
you go.
center,
Okay.
as opposed to driving all the way in and looking to see it, which I
Right.
thought was rather interesting considering the
Yeah.
whole push to get everybody to have their 911 numbers and
Display,
addresses
yeah.
at their driveway,
Yeah,
but, I think it's fine there, it was
Yeah.
nice of him to move it, and I think
okay,
it'll be good.
yeah,
And if anybody's gone up there and seen all the daisies, it looks real pretty.
Yeah.
And I've yacked a lot about it, does anybody else have anything to say about the
I
municipal?
don't, I mean, I'm in the same, place as Cal, but nobody's contacted me
Alright.
one way or the other, so. I certainly wouldn't mind doing a walk around with Donna or whoever from the garden.
I think it would be nice, especially, I'm not sure, I was really aware that, we kinda went into their hood and just rearranged it,
Right,
without really asking, we just kind of did, and that's not really polite. So I think, it would be nice to go up and walk around with everybody and say, I think this will be a good thing.
Yeah.
So,
Alright.
that's all.
cool.
Friday at 8:35.
Yeah,
Pardon? Friday, no,
after our other meeting,
Friday at 6 p.m.
right,
is,
not
at
gonna
Muni
work.
Center, at the Muni Center.
This Friday,
Mm-hmm.
walkthrough?
No, they're,
Oh.
they're working up there, if
Oh,
anybody's interested in
yeah.
see what they're doing.
what time are they gonna be there?
6 p.m.
PM?
Yeah.
Okay, maybe I can actually.
Yep.
Alright, let's leave that for now, really the last item that I've got, is the septic contract with the church and the LLC for use of the leach field.
Right.
I believe Cal sent that out to both of you,
Mm-hmm.
and I guess, have you looked at it, or are there any questions or comments or anything?
No, I can't remember off the top of my head now what the questions I had, but I talked with Ken about it that morning.
Okay,
My big thing is who, it was, there were places where it was hard to read, but other than that, it was, I think it was fine.
okay, hard to read as.
It was, the way it was laid out on the page
Okay.
was, it's difficult for me who does page layout and I did not think it was something that we had typed. But other than that, it seemed fine. There was the one thing though? Let's see if I can find it. It was about the,
I had questions.
oh, you go ahead,
Yeah.
cause maybe your questions are the same as my questions.
When they did the breakdown of the gallons, I'm trying to find it in the document now, the market not to exceed a peak usage of 600 gallons per day.
Yep,
Does that take into account the apartment, which by state, we went over this a couple meetings ago, the state says that apartment has to account for 3,
I believe it's two.
It says
two
2 bedrooms.
Yeah,
2 bedroom, but I'm saying there's a certain allotment of gallons that have to go immediately out of that cut.
Correct.
So if you go by the state, I don't have the state regulations in front of me, depending on what that market proposes, whether paper service or sit-down service.
so
You're
not,
s-
definitely
gonna
not
limit
sit down
these.
service.
So it's paper service,
Yeah.
so it's 20 gallons a
Yeah.
day as opposed to 40.
Correct.
But even 20 gallons into 300 doesn't, I guess I'm trying to add where our gallon establishment is, the differentiation between the market and the
Yeah.
apartment.
Let me
You know.
just find the contract.
Cause obviously with the hearings coming up, this being imperative, you don't want,
Right,
So the market says building including a 1,500 square foot 2 bedroom apartment.
right,
right,
And the country store without garbage grinder. Oh, I guess that was my question, that was one of my questions. And I can put a pin in that, but garbage, it says without garbage grinder, but then it doesn't say anything about the like no grease trap, because that's another whole water thing, isn't it?
I thought there is something in
Or is it just because it's pre-made food and beverages? Oh, that was my other question. Plans to serve pre-made food, where are they making the food? In there, and is there any other constraints about food preparation? Minimal food preparation, I guess it was just all kind of loosey-goosey.
Well, it's the way it is because we still don't, and, you know, this agreement just covers the septic. You know, in theory, the people that are reopening the store could be in business 6 months and then fold, and somebody else may be coming in, so this document is not intended to address what goes on in the store other than what's discharged into the septic system.
And that's my big question, is I just wanna clarify when it says the market shall not exceed peak usage of 600 gallons. If the market is in the same building as the apartment, you have to differentiate the two, because state law for the apartment is a certain amount of gallons allowed that you have to allot for the apartment. You can't
You can't
drop
put 'em
Peter
all
to pay
together.
Paul,
Yeah.
right, each one
No,
has an
I
allotted
think-
number.
I think it's a cumulative number, because as I understand the system, it all discharges.
But how do they, so
100%.
do they have two different meters over there, one for the apartment and one for the,
No, just one.
oh,
Yeah.
I mean, is this something that Webb designed the system, right? Could we get him to come in and explain at a meeting before they go to Canada? Cause that would just be something, I don't wanna sign something that you
Yeah.
say 600 gallons and then you got an apartment and 2 kids move in and they're using 200 gallons a day cause they're washing clothes left and right. And then you got a business that's putting I don't know, I'm just making numbers up, but I would just hate to sign this agreement and then all of a sudden everything, I mean, the town is already seating 225 gallons.
that's true, because it says market, but it doesn't say market slash store slash, I
Because
mean, market slash apartment.
Because I believe that was
Well-
brought up the last time we had the discussion, was there was a differentiation between the number of bedrooms and the gallons allotted that you have to allot per bedroom at the state level, as well as the type of service, the gallons changed per type of service.
Right, well, that's why I was going on about the
Yeah.
service, because
Right.
it depends, it says minimal, but is that, what does that mean?
It was 20 for paper and 40, I thought we said, for
Sounds
sit
right.
down or
Yeah.
dishwashing.
I think
Yeah.
that's right.
And then,
And so there won't be dishwashing there, and there won't be sit down.
but I believe it was 275 was ringing in my head for the apartment. 250, 275, something like that. But I couldn't find it in any paper notes.
Yeah,
So in the definition, I guess this was the other problem I had is that, and this is probably what you're referring to too, Calvin, is in the definitions under C, it says market is the owner of property identified, blah, 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 consisting of the store, apartment, and post office, so they lumping them all together as the market,
Right.
but they aren't differentiated.
And that's where my hangup was, is when we discussed this,
Yeah.
they were differentiated, you know, because there was the state requires different.
right, but I think market just refers to the LLC.
But not
Right.
not on page
paper.
one,
Yeah.
definition C.
The owner, they're referring to it as the owner of the property.
Hereafter, the market, which is the store, the apartment, and the post office.
Right,
So they're lumping them all together as the market, so it says
Correct.
the market can only use 600 gallons.
right, I think that was the intent. I don't believe there was any suggestion made that we separate the apartment from the. I mean, I think you could only separate because the post office doesn't have any running water,
Right,
period.
I would think that they would wanna separate it, because as you say, what if the store suddenly is using all 600 gallons, then what do you do with the people in the apartment?
Well-
What if the apartment suddenly uses 400 gallons and the store can't?
Yeah.
Right.
You're not always gonna have a Ted living in there, you know, you're gonna have a family, there's gonna be there's gonna be different burdens on the water. And I'm maybe I dreamt it, but I thought we discussed there was a differentiation between the two. The requirements the state has for the apartment and for the store. And that was the whole purpose of the metering. And that was what brought the conversation up of giving gallons from the town because we don't use them all to help
Right.
with the process. But that was for the goal of I don't wanna say the goal of, but with the intent of potentially changing the use of the building, because they had to come up with gallons. Cause like I said, I think it's
If
like.
they wanted to change the use of the
Right,
building.
and that's
they
where
would
the
have to.
275 for the apartment in my head is sticking, and then the 20 and the 40 gallons, but I don't wanna see us sign this and then go, holy crap, they're using 800 of the 900 gallons. And then you gotta, you know what I mean, like, I thought there was a separation between the apartment and the store, even though they were owned by the same landlord.
The water usage is
The water
different
usage
though.
had to get separated is what I thought.
Though, if it makes anybody feel better, when the last tenant was in there were a tenant and 3 kids and
Oh,
they didn't
Right,
exceed
Exceeded.
even
yeah,
with the washer,
right,
but
yeah, and I believe there's a single person living there now.
now, but not always, so,
Well,
I
there's
mean,
no
again,
guarantees that,
yeah.
you know,
I guess I just, for my clarification, I think we need to figure out if that has to be separated or not. And if so, if we can denote the gallons, so that way it'll help alleviate
Okay.
any further stresses down the road when it
Yeah.
comes to changing uses or
yeah,
that sort of stuff.
okay,
But like the rest of the document, I really did like the breakdown, you know, the responsibility, the
Yeah.
burden goes down to who uses it. If you
Right.
use 99%, you pay 99% of the burden.
Yeah.
That to me is fair and responsible.
yeah. I'm unsure, you know, obviously we're gonna have to wait till Ken gets back, but I'm unsure if what would it have to be? It would have to be we've gotta be metering discharge. If the plumbing at the building will permit separating the discharge,
from the apartment versus the store.
right,
That should be an easy thing to know by, I mean, Kevin or Ted, I would think, could answer
Yeah.
that easily enough, cause they're checking the meters.
correct,
Yeah, 'cause didn't they have 2 separate meters anyways last time when they talked about the usages?
no. No, I don't believe there ever were 2 separate meters, I think they've only metered one.
And we talked about adding an extra meter on the back of the parish house for the hose. Because
Okay.
that should be just, not, because it's not being discharged into the septic. They're
Right.
using water, but they're not using the
I mean,
septic.
if I was the owner of the LLC, I'd want 2 separate meters, so that way I know exactly who's using what and how it's being consumed.
Yeah. I don't know what the cost of a meter is, or the installation, I think that's with the church, that was the issue. Which is why in the contract it calls for us to use a 6-month period and then it gets extrapolated into a 12-month.
Who's responsible for adding the new meter at the church, because.
No one is adding it, that's what I'm saying,
But aren't they adding it on the outside faucet?
no.
So they're just gonna include that in their usage.
So we're gonna take a 6-month period of usage from, it should say in the contract actually. It's for a period of time to not include summer. And then, you know, we'll figure out what their normal usage is. There we go.
For sure I saw.
Yeah, right there, in what page is that? It's after cost sharing A.
Yeah,
What page?
I don't know, under
It's at-
cost sharing.
It's at the bottom of the, oh, you don't have the
No, I don't have a thingamading.
thing.
Yeah, I don't have a computer, I got a document reader thing.
Okay, under cost sharing, okay.
Over the previous 12 months, they're gonna take the 1 year and,
no, that's not, so what happened last year was they ran, some kind of a misting system. that
Right, the
keeps-
outside hose.
Yeah, which does not go into the septic system. So the metering must be on water usage then.
it's when you use the water, yeah, it's just like
Yeah.
a city. When you
Yeah.
turn the water on, it meters the
Yeah.
water coming on.
So it's not
But most
meter
of the
discharge.
water usage in the building anyway goes into the septic, whereas the
Right.
hose didn't. Which is what I thought that was in here,
It's supposed to be.
that there was going to be a separate meter installed on the hose.
No.
So that could be subtracted
You
from
can
their
just
water usage, from their septic usage.
No, they don't wanna pay for another
Right.
plumber and
You can
meters.
just bypass the line.
Yeah.
If
Okay.
you really wanted to, you could bypass the meter to your outdoor hose spigot,
Okay,
then it
No,
doesn't
we'll-
show up.
Yeah,
Okay.
but what we had agreed to was we will, we'll take a period of time excluding the summer months. And then just get an average of that and that will become their average for the year.
Why wouldn't they wanna put a meter?
Too expensive.
That just seems counterintuitive to the purpose of having an agreement for water consumption. I mean, I don't want seatbelts in my car because they're too expensive. Like, I don't know.
Does this say this is, then if that's the case,
Well, we'll look
Scott,
at
this
that as
doesn't
well.
say, it says 12 months, but it doesn't say
Yeah.
excluding summer.
Yeah,
It's just say,
12-month average, yeah.
12 month
yeah,
average.
so we'll look at that also when Ken gets back. But I believe it should have been included in this contract.
Okay.
That was the discussion at our last meeting with the church.
Did they get a price for a meter installed? Like, how do they know if it's too
I
expensive?
think they did, and
Okay,
yeah,
That would probably be, Ron who would know, Ron Turcott, who would know.
Ron was there, yeah, he didn't give exact numbers, but, you know, obviously, you know, the church doesn't have a unlimited budget,
No,
so.
how, and it's all well and good for us to say, okay, let's wait for Ken to get back and figure this out. When are they trying to get this signed by? And I don't know, there
Well-
still doesn't seem to be a time for the store to be open, except soon, whatever that means.
there's a hearing on the 24th at the ZBA
Right,
for the change of use for a restaurant.
Oh,
I think
okay,
it was posted a couple days ago.
okay.
yeah, and I believe,
June 24th?
I thought they were gonna also appear on the planning board.
I haven't seen any notice of that, and there was discussion as to whether or not they had to go to the HDC. So unless they're gonna hit the trifecta in 1 month, I don't envision them opening in a capacity other than a country store within the month.
Yeah,
And I don't wanna put words in their mouth, cause I don't know, but.
right, and honestly, Beth, for purposes of this agreement, we don't care when they open.
Okay,
Because they could just as easily close, you know.
I mean, I don't wanna hold their
Usage.
application process up for this, but I just
Yeah.
wanna make sure that what we
Yeah.
put in writing
Yeah.
reflects the usages, and if we have to differentiate, I'd rather
Yeah.
deal with it now with a new document than go back in 6 months and go,
No.
we didn't, you
Understood,
know?
yeah. So are you saying that you want the apartment metered separately from the store? And then regarding the parish house, the outside faucet just metered or bypassed from the system?
I mean, I don't wanna reinvent the wheel for them,
Yeah.
we all know it's for the sprinkler system.
Yeah,
but it just
But-
shouldn't, how much of it is for the sprinkler system, it shouldn't count towards their septic usage.
right, well, that was the idea
Yeah.
with not counting the summer months when it's used, cause it's really
I
only
mean,
2
if it's
Yeah.
feasible for them to bypass,
Yeah.
that would be easier, then we don't have any concern over
Right.
overuse, underuse.
Yeah, I think
You know?
the concern for probably both entities is the cost of plumbing, it isn't the parts,
No,
it's
but
the cost of a plumber. I know, but,
get a shark bite or two.
yeah,
Make it work. But I mean, that would be my biggest concern is just understanding if the state differentiates the two, the apartment from the market.
yeah,
Because I would hate for something to go through and if a random state inspection came in and they're not in compliance. I don't wanna make it harder for them just by bypassing something that
Yeah.
seems mundane.
right, right,
And if it takes an extra 2 weeks to sign it, I'd rather be thorough than not.
okay. And I don't believe there was ever any intent to sign it, certainly not this.
No, but that was my big not red flag, but my kinda,
Yeah.
cause we had discussed last time the separation of the two and what gets certain gallons
Yeah.
in the apartment was brought up, and and if Ken says no, that we don't need it, then we can go along with the 600 gallons and move forward.
Yeah,
It just, you know, the more you think about it though, if their use, the use in the store though determines how much water they have to allot for, you'd think they'd wanna know precisely how much they're using, and they can't if there's an apartment.
I don't know if I don't wanna speak for the state, but I'm not sure that all they care about is that the number they allot, I think, is available. As opposed to what they're actually discharging.
Yeah.
You know, those are very different numbers.
I mean, that would be a huge difference if you're talking
Yeah.
350 gallons versus 600, 350
Exactly,
is a significantly different amount of seats than
Yeah.
600 gallons.
yeah,
But I'd hate to see this go 3 months in and they're dramatically overusing because it was something more so, they were so successful, they had more people coming in.
Right.
Now it puts us in a lurch with the leach field.
yep.
Well, they'd have to scale, or they'd have to scale back,
And I mean,
that'd be awful.
I think the town has seeded more than enough gallons,
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah,
to
Yeah.
accommodate.
right, certainly in this contract, I think it's a more realistic look at what the Sam Lake House is actually discharging or using.
Right. And the only way that would change is if certain positions went full-time or we expanded the office use,
We actually talked about that.
you know? And I think, what did we say, we average about 50 gallons a day, so that gives us 25 gallons of leeway.
Yeah. Yeah, and I don't know, you know, I think that, will it ever happen? Maybe, you know, it's hard to look into the future sometimes
Yeah.
and.
Is it
Oh,
a
this
septic
was-
lifespan or not? I don't
This
know.
was the other thing that I was curious about, because when it gets down to the church section, it very carefully says that there are, the parish house with, 4 public bathrooms. I was thinking stalls, not bathrooms, so there's 2 upstairs. And there's 2 in the, there's one as you come in downstairs, and then they added, I don't know what they added back there in the daycare center. Just 1 more bathroom in there for the kids,
I
for
think
the
that's
total of
correct,
4,
yeah.
okay.
4,
So they have to say bathrooms, but they don't have to say, like the apartment added a washing machine. And I
well,
think
the
they
parish
won't,
house has a washer hookup, they don't have a washer.
right, but I mean, they've got it in the apartment, but it's not lit, they say bathrooms, but it doesn't say washing machines, which I thought was interesting, is that they don't have to
Yeah,
in either case,
I don't believe so.
even though that's a darn big water user.
Yeah.
I thought that was kind of just something that was left out.
Nope,
I mean,
No,
that
it's
should,
something,
that,
yeah.
it felt like something that should be there, but. Alright,
yeah, the parish house, the daycare specifically, say they have no plans to install or use a washing machine.
but they have a hookup for it.
Well, apparently at some point, a person who no longer lives in town
Yeah.
decided to put that in.
I guess
Pre-planning.
the only reason I say that is, again, if we're looking for this in the future,
Mm.
and somebody says, oh, we have a washer hookup, let's just hook up a washing machine.
Right.
Right, because the parish house could always change use too, to the church.
Correct.
Sell it in 20 years, 30 years, or it might become a community, so you never know what it's gonna
Well,
change to.
or you have, emergency housing down there and you need a washing machine.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it, just to say that there, with the possibility, I don't know. If it doesn't matter whether it's mentioned or not, in the legal scheme of things, then fine, but it just seems like if you're talking about bathrooms and water usage, washing machines are a biggie.
Well, if you guys want it in, now is the time to
I
say
mean,
so.
simple me, I would have just kept everything at a third, and just said, everybody's responsible for a third, keep it simple.
Yeah.
Because it just seems like, in doing this agreement, you potentially open the door for every time a use changes, if somebody wants to sniff at something else, now you have to re-edit the document and try to manipulate numbers to accommodate something. Everybody's responsible for a third, here's your 300
But the
gallons.
thirds aren't equal, so
Right,
it can't
well,
work that way.
so when we negotiated, what we felt we should be negotiating for is the taxpayers.
Yeah.
And we, the taxpayers, should only be paying, I'm gonna call it 5%.
Mhm.
Of any replacement, any repairs, anything, because that's all we use. So the LLC is the largest by far user of the system, so they should be paying the lion's share.
So then what happens when that building goes vacant for 6 months and water doesn't get consumed and the town uses its 50 gallons and that's 55% of the consumption?
So I think the look back is 10 years.
But I'm just saying, like, when you play the
Yeah.
consumption use, if that building's been vacant for six months,
Roughly, I
you
mean,
know,
at least,
so is that
you
gonna
know.
skew the numbers?
Well, I don't know if it'll skew them, but I think it's an honest look at usage. I mean, and that's what this is intended to do, is honestly look at usage.
Usage
What if the
when in
daycare
use.
closes?
Right, but that's what I'm saying, is when
Yeah.
it's not in use,
Yeah.
or it goes idle for 6 months, then the burden gets put on the town because they used water for 6 months, they're 50 gallons, so now they're
Yeah.
paying.
Yeah, but we're
the-
still only using 50 gallons,
Yeah.
even though the percentage is,
Yeah, the percentage, it
well,
would generally
well,
come-
yeah, I see what you, well,
Cause if you're saying 100, I'm just making
I
up
think we're
numbers
getting
here.
lost in the weeds here.
No, but if
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
$100 per month and the town's the only one using it because the building's shut, are we paying that full $100 that month, even though it was only 25 gallons a day? Or are you paying,
Yes.
are you paying 25 gallons out of the 900?
Nope, you'd be paying the town's gonna contribute $100 a month. You know, the daycare could suddenly shut down, and that usage, you know, really, the usage would essentially stop then for the parish house.
And that's what I mean, is like,
Well, no,
the
except for the-
protections, but you're still spreading the burden. If those fail, then the taxpayer's still footing the burden.
Well, if there's nobody left to pay the bill, then yes, you know, if the LLC ceases to exist, the parish house ceases to exist, there is nobody else.
Then the septic field isn't getting used so much, it'll be fine.
Right,
But if without the daycare center, there still is a lot of use in the parish house, because just think of all the events and the kitchen. That's a big use in that for water. If you have a Thanksgiving dinner for
but that's,
75
yeah.
people and you're washing all those dishes, that's a huge amount of water.
yeah, but
So that doesn't stop.
yeah, but the daycare is a daily, 5 day a week, you know.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I mean, I think the document's intent is there, I'm just nitpicking, just devil's advocating
This is
it,
the
but
place to nitpick.
I honestly think that's my only hang up is that differentiation between the apartment and the market, and if they have to be separated, what is the gallons? And what are the actual numbers we're playing with
Yeah,
versus lump summing them? I just thought, in my mind, and I remember the last time we talked about it, you can't lump sum, they have to be split,
okay,
and I just don't wanna rob Peter to pay Paul.
yeah.
Yeah.
Alright,
And which particular legal entity overlooked the whole thing at the
the
end?
town's attorney,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah. But obviously, if we're gonna make some changes, then it'll have to go back to him for another.
for just that little
Yeah.
bit though.
Yeah, absolutely, for the
Yeah.
changes, yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if anything changes one way or the other after the meeting on the 24th, you said, CBA?
Yeah, CBA, yeah.
Right, but once again,
No,
for purposes of this, we don't really care what happens.
oh, that's true.
No, but the establishment of the gallon consumption will affect that.
Correct.
So we should probably try to figure that out before the 24th.
Well, we figured it out for both the apartment plus the store, based on the information that the LLC gave us. Kind of worst case scenario, if you will. The apartment occupied by a family using a washer on a regular basis. And the store, they were very clear that the intent was never to provide sit-down service. Now, maybe in the future, but you know, there is a provision in this contract for a yearly reset, if you will, a yearly meeting.
Did they they must have used Kevin's numbers when he came in with all the numbers because he had numbers for when the store was occupied
Correct.
and preparing food.
Yep.
And had a family of 4 in the apartment, so
Correct.
they know how much that was.
Correct.
Which I'm assuming had to have been less than
Well
600.
Well,
Okay. So. Okay. So long as it shows somewhere that that's what it was based on.
yeah,
When apartment fully occupied by family of 4 with a washing machine and food prep going on in the store. I think that's, because it doesn't show that in this document, but it's a good thing to know.
right,
I don't know how it could show it in here, but
yeah,
perhaps if it just shows it in our minutes that was the basis for that 600 gallon number when fully occupied and serving food.
So if they're going to the ZBA to get permission to do a restaurant, but Kevin said they're never doing sit-down service,
correct.
is that
Which,
contradictory or
well, the other
is that-
issue is
yeah.
a restaurant has much stricter fire and building code. Much stricter. At a level that exceeds the town. So I'm not getting into that because it's not my hearing, but that's something that they should be aware of as well.
Okay.
It's a different game you're playing when you change that use to that extent.
And do you need to be, and again, this isn't our purview within the septic, but do you need to be declared a restaurant to technically be a cafe?
No,
Don't know the answer to that, actually.
no, because the definition changes the use of what you're doing inside.
So why
A
go,
caf-
why go
Because
for
you
a
get more
restaurant?
seats. There's a seat threshold and a use threshold.
Why would you go for the seat threshold before you know how many people might actually be coming in to sit? As a, like if you all of a sudden have people streaming through the door.
I'm not.
Alright,
any of
never
that, so
mind.
I don't know.
Okay, no.
But that's really the driving force as to why I wanna clean up these
Yeah,
gallons
yeah.
now, and let's hammer this out the right way. So either A, not to inhibit the future use of that store, or to
Yeah.
lead people down the wrong path.
It's a whole, it's a complicated
It's
dance.
a ball of yarn.
That too.
Okay, so our next step with this, now that we've talked this to death,
Ken should be back, next week, correct?
Yep.
So yeah, Cal, I know, has taken copious notes, and Ken will be made aware of it Monday when he returns, it'll be his welcome back.
Do we have the septic, cause we obviously have it on file.
Yeah.
Does it give any of the gallon information on it?
No, the original agreement does,
Okay.
but we've talked to Webb multiple times.
Okay, I was
throughout.
just curious if I could just go peruse it rather than bother him.
Sure.
Okay.
Yeah, that's entirely up to you.
Okay.
But the system is designed for 900 per day, if I remember, yeah.
I just wasn't sure if in the system design, there was a separation that said apartment gets this or store gets this. Cause I don't know why that's sticking in my head, but it came from somewhere and that's gonna eat me alive until I figure out where it originated.
I don't think it came from, if it came from the system design, it would have been the store and apartment building, I bet, together.
Yeah,
Okay,
I believe it was.
cause I just remember when Kevin was here.
It just
they had
seems to make more
differentiate-
sense for it to be separate, looking back at it now, but I don't think it was that way.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna beat the dead horse this week and find
You
out.
go right,
Yeah,
you go right,
For my own sanity.
okay. Okay,
well, yeah, I mean, that's gotta be available somewhere. I would think at a state agency, because the state ultimately approves each septic system application.
Right, and I thought there was differences between apartment, and again, I could be going down the wrong rabbit hole,
I'm
but I
not sure
thought
you
there was
are actually, but I know what you're saying, and I think you're right, there's information somewhere that says for I believe now they're calling it a 2-bedroom
Yeah.
apartment. You need this much,
Right, gallons
Yeah.
allotted.
yeah,
Now, whether or not you can take those gallons and roll them over, I don't know, I just wanna make sure that,
yeah. Yeah, everybody. Full disclosure,
right,
so. Alright, I think we'll leave it at that till Ken gets back and we can sort of regroup on those points. Does anyone have anything else for discussion?
no,
Cause we are at the end of,
the end of the agenda?
yeah,
after this meeting, I no longer need 6 p.m. I like
Okay.
6 p.m., but I don't need it
Yeah.
anymore.
Yeah.
Season's over Saturday.
so I guess,
I just put in the newsletter that the meetings are going to be at 6, so yeah,
Well,
we're
that's
staying that way till June.
that's fine, but I just wanted to make it clear that like my commitment now on Mondays
Yeah.
will free up after this week,
Okay.
so if you wanna leave them at 6, I like them personally at 6. If we don't, we can move them back to 5, it's not an issue with me either way,
Yeah.
but we don't have to bend over backwards for me anymore.
I already started scheduling for 5 p.m. for the next one,
And,
because the department heads
that's what I was just gonna say.
can't.
People are gonna have to make I changed the newsletter twice, and I thought it was, I had put, it said, we're going back to 5, and then I said, wait a minute. Then I looked at the town calendar and it said 6,
Yeah.
and I was trying to remember our discussion.
It's all
And
my
so I
fault.
said, I sent another thing out to everybody, apologized and put it at 6. We're gonna go 5?
I think the issue is that when we do 6, it keeps the department heads here for an extra hour.
Okay, people are gonna have to deal with it.
Compromise, the first one will do it 6, the second one will do it 5.
This, we are here to, this is the first one.
No, I mean
This
every
is-
month, is that how you wanna settle it?
Oh, no. If they go back to 5, I'll just send a note to everybody and say I screwed up, what the hell?
Yeah.
It's,
Well, you didn't screw up, but.
You're
No.
a mulligan,
I changed it,
Yeah.
I changed it back and forth, I should have left it the way it was.
just blame it on me,
Yeah,
There you
I
go.
will,
it's okay.
that's okay.
Alright,
Alright, then so, next meeting at 5?
yep.
Yes.
works for
Which
me.
is the
Yeah,
15th.
15th, yeah,
June 15th at 5,
Okay.
June 5th at 8:30.
right,
Do I change it to 6:30? You guys up early or?
I am. I didn't hear a resounding
I'm up
support
at
for that
4:30,
idea.
so I can do 6:30.
No.
I'm an early riser.
I'll be in the middle of feeding chickens at 6:30.
Alright,
Alright, Cal, did you have any? Okay. Alright, if nobody else has anything,
no, I was going to read the definition of water usage allotments.
okay.
Water usage
How?
allotments differ significantly between restaurants and apartments, as restaurants typically have higher demands due to their operations, while apartments are allocated based on residential needs. Restaurants often have a tiered rate based on usage, while apartments may have fixed or lower tiered rates for basic needs. There you go. You don't have to put any of that in the minutes, I don't believe.
Gotta put something in the minutes.
Definition of water usage discussed. I think that should do us.
Alright, motion to adjourn.
I'll second, all those in favor?
You made a motion.
I did.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye.